Tigers fall to the Sooners, but there's a new coach in town. We're breaking it down on the Hannycast.
The Hannycast, a weekly LSU football film study with Charles Hannegriff and former LSU tight end Richard Dickson. Now to break down the Tiger tape, here's Charles and Richard.
Charles Hannegriff, former Tiger Richard Dickson. Richard, we're going to go through some of the plays for LSU Oklahoma, but the bigger story, of course, was that Lane Kiffin is now the head coach at LSU. It wasn't the easiest transition over the weekend. He very much wanted to coach his team in what could have been an SEC championship game, and then, of course, the playoffs. Ole Miss was adamant that was not going to happen, and so he, along with some of his staff, arrived in Baton Rouge on Monday, on Sunday, had the press conference on Monday, and LSU is going to move forward with him as a head coach. So without getting into all of the recruiting ramifications, because we're doing this the night before signing date, and staffing, which is going to be a fluid situation here, as there were 6 other jobs that got filled in the last 48 hours. So that's a lot of staffs to fill, and there's still a couple of jobs open out there on the power level. And then, of course, the trickle-down effect on the group of 6 coaches that have moved up in those staffs. So there's going to be a lot happening, so we're not going to talk specifics because it will change by the time we get out of here. But let's talk about Lane Kiffin. That won't change. It was the guy that LSU wanted. Verge Osbury and the search committee targeted him. He had a lot of interest from Florida, and, of course, Ole Miss desperately wanted to keep him, but LSU wins out here.
Yeah, and I see both sides. I definitely understand, Kiffin wanting to coach that team. I mean, we talked about it previous, and I think we talked about it some on postgame. I mean, one of the hardest things to do is, especially in this day and age, is you start with a goal in spring, and you're going to fight it all the way through. You build this, your team's not complete in August. You get to a certain point, and you want to see it out. Also understand Ole Miss's point. I mean, you don't want everybody in the country talking about who LSU's new coach is, and then what he thinks is going to be talked about through the playoffs and the games is this guy that is coaching Ole Miss is LSU's new coach. It's a tough situation. I'm glad that it was able to work out, and he was able to – it didn't sway him from coming here.
There's a lot of advantages to this job that he talked about as the reasons for coming here, the tradition, but the size of the stadium. But the biggest thing at the end of the day was the resources to get players. Yeah. And those are budget things that he said, look, the money for him and probably for most of the staff was comparable at the 3 schools. But the one thing that wasn't comparable was the player budget, and that was greater here. And I think that ended up being one of the biggest reasons that he made this decision.
Yeah, I thought it was funny when I went back and watched his opening press conference, and he said that he still doesn't know what he's getting paid.
I didn't believe that, by the way.
I didn't, but then,
I mean, maybe not to the penny, but he's got an idea.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even know what my contract is, and I told Jimmy didn't want to talk about it. What I wanted to talk about was, what can we spend on players? What we can do this? And he goes, his exact words were, all the other contracts, the pay was the same. The players' pay was not.
That's the name of the game now. You got to be able to get out. You got to be able to work the portal. We're going to see, I think, a lot of movement on signing day from a lot of schools, because a lot of kids that committed to certain coaches, those coaches aren't there anymore. We're talking about 6 schools in the Southeastern Conference, so that's a lot of kids. So I expect to see a good bit of movement.
Yeah, and I would see more movement in the old style of football. And I should have asked Matt when he was here, but isn't there some type of, for the in-state kids in Louisiana that can do NIL and they're paid in high school? Somebody was mentioning that, like, if you go against that and change your commitment, then the money's owed back, and I wonder how much that keeps kids in. I don't know
the high school NIL, I have not done a whole lot of research, I'll be honest with you on that. I know that getting the players here by any means, high school kids, the portal, it involves these budget issues, and LSU's got more budget. So that's a good place to start. There's a lot of work to do for them. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to show you some of the things that Lane Kiffin does schematically. I mean, that's the other big portion of this, is that LSU's got a guy whose offensive play calling is probably as good as anybody in the sport. And as you watch this film, you'll see why LSU needs that.
Yeah.
I think that it opens up enormous possibilities, and we're going to show you over the next couple of weeks some of the things he's done at Ole Miss that obviously will translate over here, and you kind of get an idea for some of the stuff he runs. I know you've looked at a lot of this stuff extensively, so looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm excited about it. I mean, when Nick Saban said he's one of the best play callers I've ever been around, you take that at his word.
We believe that. We've seen that.
You have a guy that his story is just awesome to me. How he's, Pete Carroll, his dad Lane Kiffin, Nick Saban's defensive geniuses, and he talks about how he created his offense by having conversations with things they struggled with. And I think the whole story on his offense, how it's different, how he's been very innovative. I'm excited for it.
We're brought to you by Cina, located in the heart of downtown Hammond, an upscale Italian restaurant serving traditional dishes in contemporary fashion, inspired by an abundance of fresh local produce and the ways of old Cina, creating a unique dining experience. Their goal is to use local ingredients and delicious recipes to create an exceptional dining experience while providing a fresh and inclusive atmosphere that can be enjoyed by everyone in the heart of downtown Hammond. It is Cina, and also by the Capital Area USSSA baseball affiliate, hosting events this spring in the rec and all-star divisions, also league play, double AAA, and Major League State and national levels. Special events coming up in the spring. For more information, contact Lane Petrie at 771-9095, 225-771-9095, Capital Area USSSA. All right, let's get to some of the plays from this game with Oklahoma that saw LSU's regular season come to an end at 7-5. This first play we're going to look at is the interception by Harold Perkins off of John Mateer.
This started the roller coaster of emotions in this game. Look, Harold Perkins' ball skills this year have been pretty awesome. I mean, I think that's his third interception. I really wish he could have got in the dang end zone right there, knowing what was going on with our offense. But he plays this well, reads it. He stays in the pocket, and he's been attacking the ball this year. And this is another 3rd and 6. What I think has been awesome the last 3 games is the way Blake Baker's defense has really come on in big stops on 3rd down and 4th and short.
This ball was off of a deflection, and Perkins, I thought he was going to score when he got the ball in stride like that, and I wonder. He really came on, I thought, in the second part of the season. I thought the first half, they had a good game against Clemson, and then probably for the next 4, 5, 6 games through A&M, it wasn't there. In the last 3 or 4 games, he really turned it on.
Well, I think we was never trying to pick on Perkins. Perkins is a unbelievable athlete, a guy that should be an All-American. But go back to that A&M game. I think he had some soul searching. I think that Blake most likely sat him down because there was things we saw on film that were making former players, fans mad. When you're seeing this guy with incredible talent that wasn't giving the best effort in some things. And look, there was a lot of things going on in that game that was effort wasn't great all across the board. But he was really highlighted in that. And I think since then it kind of awakened him. Saw what he sees on film, that the eye in the sky catches everything. And he's really turned it on.
I also think that this is year 1 off of a major injury.
Yeah.
I think maybe he's just a half a beat, a little bit slower. I think that maybe next year when he's in the NFL, that thing is fully healed. You would know. You've had every injury known to man. The second year back from a major reconstruct.
So when I had my knee reconstruction, I blew out my left knee. I remember coming back, and it's so mental that, like, I would go to catch a ball and go to cut and fall down just because my knee was strong. It was back, but mentally I didn't think my knee could handle it. So I would go to make certain cuts and you would just fall because you didn't trust your knee. And it takes a little bit of while, to regain that confidence.
All right, here's why you wish he would have gotten in the end zone, because this is the ensuing play. This is a first down, and this ball is intercepted off of Michael Van Buren.
Yeah, and the reason I put this play on here, I wanted to see it again. Watching this game in live right here, I'm like, dive at the pylon. He's got the angle. He can get there. If not, it's first down. It's going to be a golden go to situation. Did not like the decision making on this one. Not sure what he was even trying to do. He's not open. You got to throw this ball.
Okay.
If he throws it here, he's open, but he's not because he's getting chased. So when he starts to get chased, the guy drifts back into the zone.
All right.
When he started drifting back, that's why I'm saying take the pylon.
Do you think, well, obviously, if he gets the ball over this guy's head, do you think, no, there's the backside corner is going to be in the way here. This is the best view.
Angle. Because, I think the tight end is open early, but with the pressure coming from the inside, it makes him stretch.
Can he throw it now? Can he throw it now?
He could throw it now. He's got to lob it right over the O.
Yeah.
And let him go get it. But I think he's uncomfortable with the guy coming off right here. My biggest thing is once he gets out here on the edge, I think the defender makes a mistake. He starts to play back. As soon as he sees that guy playing back, he's got to go for the.
Look, it's real easy to say here at a desk watching a film. But if he pump fakes here, gets that guy, he's going to score easy. And I think even if he doesn't, I think he could have beat him to the pylon.
Yeah.
This is first down. So
take the pylon.
The worst case scenario is he gets tackled at the 2
or
second and goal from the 2. So that was a tough one.
It's a poor decision on the run. You got to play a little bit safer right there.
All right, the next play we're going to go. This is a rush for 0 yards off the left side, and Bernard Gooden does a nice job here.
I feel like we've showed a lot of these. Look at him split that double team, gets up the field, stops the pressure. But this is what I'm loving about the defense the last 4 or 5 games. How many 4th and 1s have we showed, 3rd and 1s? The D line is playing awesome. The linebackers are filling gaps. The defense is playing with an edge. It's the best they've played all year long is the last 3 games. And I'd like to go back and look at the stats. Probably the most 3rd and 4th down short yardage stops we've had all year.
I think, and with Gooden, we talked about this at the beginning of the season. He's an undersized defensive tackle. He's extremely quick. I thought early in the season he was very disruptive. And in the middle of the season, it looked like he got worn down a little bit.
He played too much.
And that's what we were worried about at the beginning of the season, that if you got his snap count up at 275, 280 pounds, that he was going to get beat on a little bit in the Southeastern Conference. But I thought at the end of the season, he kind of kicked back in, kind of got his second win, and really started to make some plays in that late part of the season.
Yeah, that play you saw right there is what we saw all early in the season, what you saw in camp. It got everybody excited about him. During the middle of the season is tough. That's when the hardest part of the year is when you've played that 6th, 7th game. No one's healthy anymore. Everybody's beat up, and it's just a mental grind. But in this game, for the last 2, they played lights out.
Oh, by the way, the heart of conference season is when all of that is happening. We're brought to you by Town Square Pizza for pickup or delivery, North Boulevard, downtown Baton Rouge, and catering available if you're having parties. Town Square Pizza, delicious personalized pizza with unmatched speed, Monday through Saturday, 11 until 8 p.m. If you've got a short amount of time for lunch, you work in the downtown area, get Town Square Pizza, get your food, get you in, get you out, and very, very generous portion. So you're probably going to have a little bit left over. Town Square Pizza on North Boulevard, downtown Baton Rouge. All right, this next play that we're looking at is going to be a completed pass in the short flat to Bauer Sharp. This gets down to the Oklahoma 20-yard line.
I think I've seen more trick plays in the last 3 or 4 weeks at LSU than I've seen in my entire career.
Empty the playbook. It'll be different next year.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been innovative. I think it's a way to get the guys engaged when the season's not going the way they want.
This is the double pass. I'm sorry, I misread my notes.
It was Xavier Thomas to Bauer Sharp. It's fun. It gives these guys, a lot of these guys are athletes. Guys want to make plays. There's always plays in the playbook that you beg coach to run that they never do. And like you said, I think they're just emptying it out.
This play went for more yards in the air than the rest of the LSU passes in the first half. Mm-hmm. And this was the frustrating thing. This play is fine. You pick up 17 yards. They get Oklahoma all the way to one side. So you make a nice play here. But the sideways portion of the offense got frustrating after a while.
Yeah, when everything's
not this play
left
necessarily,
to right.
but
this is you're going sideways to go deep. Everything else was wide receiver screens, pop passes, getting it out the hands quick. And what concerns me about that is when you're doing that. Yes, for one, you're not trusting the offensive line, which we know the issues they've had there. but they're also just trying to get the ball out of Van Buren's hands really quick.
This is an inability to run the football with any kind of consistency has sparked a lot of those. Yeah. So again, we're going through some of this, but we'll see what happens for the bowl game, and then of course next year the offense is going to look very, very different. Caden Durham on the right side for about 9 yards on this play.
So 71. That's Adams.
Yeah.
He gets a hell of a block right here. It was good to see him back. The guy was a starter early on. A guy with a lot of potential. He was one of our better guys. But
he slams him right to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing with a little bit of aggression now. He gets an easy kind of on the side run. But, Caden Durham makes a play. I think Caden Durham's, really stepped up his game the last couple weeks and tried to make the plays where he can. There's obviously not a hole here. It's not really blocked well up front. We get on our holds, but he has to bounce it outside and make yards on his own.
Well, I would take some positive out of the fact that Adams just threw a 320-pound guy to the ground.
Guy.
Yeah, a little bit of momentum still, but still, I would take in the run game. We're taking what they can get. We're brought to you by Dependable Storage, 8 locations across Louisiana and 1 in Gulfport, Mississippi, matching any competitor's pricing, convenient online rentals and payments. Free use of the moving truck for new rental move-ins and clean, secure, and conveniently located facilities. Check out the website at dependablestorage.com. Next play we're going to look at, this is Mateer for a 2-yard loss. The defense played really well in this game. Unfortunately, it kind of played out the way we thought it would. At some point, there would be a wear down or a breakdown.
Well, it's just this is a championship level defense in my opinion, especially the way they've played. Inspired. I think the Texas A&M game, which we talked about with Perkins, but there was a lot of guys that we felt like the team had kind of quit in that second half. And I think Blake really went back and watched that film, showed them that film, and showed them that everybody can see that. And I feel like the intensity levels picked up.
Whit Weeks, who had been fighting the injury, does a nice job here to fight off that block and make the tackle.
Yeah, it's good to see Whit back. Man, I was so excited for him and Perkins because they're just electric players. Really wish that he wouldn't have been hurt so we could have seen a full year with him. But
maybe we'll get to see a full year next year.
Well,
it's possible, right?
He's got a girlfriend that can talk him into it.
Yeah. Any idea what her dad does for a living?
That might make me
football
leave.
Coach, isn't he?
That might make me leave. I don't know if I could have a girlfriend that I got to go to her dad's house and impress her dad, and then I got to get yelled at him by him all day.
Awkward?
It could be a little tough.
Okay, well, we'll see if that works out. Next play, this is Michael Van Buren for a big gain all the way down to the Oklahoma 1-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, Van Buren has made some plays the last couple of weeks with his legs, and, he gets a good read right here, pulls it. Looks like he'd have made the pylon there. I wish he'd have just done it on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
He really has more athleticism than people give him credit for. But if you watch this, they bite on the back, everybody slams down. You were using your speed to get to the edge with that play fake. They're trusting your speed with that play fake. So, go make the play when you get the angle.
Trades Green here. I know the guy's slanting that way, but he threw the guy all the way to the ground.
There's a lot of guys finishing. That's what I talk about. The one thing Frank did, and you see a lot with interim coaches, the mood had definitely dwindled at the end before Brian Kelly was fired. But a lot of these guys are playing hard, playing fast, and leaving it all out on the field.
Oh, good to see them.
Go back. Look at this. Watch Chris Hilton, a guy that's had 3 or 4 catches this year. Watch him block down here. Now, I just caught this. This is very impressive. That's how you make big plays. But for a receiver that could be pissed off at the world right now that he didn't have the season he wanted to, he wasn't the superstar, but he's still playing to the whistle.
And good for him. I wish him nothing but the best. It's been a tough year for him. From a backyard shed to the top of the game, more than just a baseball bat company, Marucci, a legacy built on passion and precision. 2 decades of crafting the finest wood, metal, and leather in the sport. Here to help you run the game at MarucciSports.com. Don't forget about the Hitter's House, 5801 Segan Lane, 1801 Airline Drive in Metairie. 24/7 access to the members' cages and bullpen cage reservation opportunities. 15% discount at the retail store. Check them out at MarucciSports.com. Next play we're going to look at, this is a short pass to Xavion Thomas. and this goes for the touchdown.
I just thought it was a creative way. This is some of the more of the creativity that they brought in. Good play. Still, this isn't what you want in your offense all the time. From the 1 yard line, you want to be able to pound it in there. But to get him out on the bubble with the motion, Xavion's involved in a lot of motions in this offense, and to get him out on the edge and get the quick pitch to him.
See it here from the tight view. He spent a lot of time in the backfield this year. Xavion Thomas.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, starting in the backfield,
I was just
the
looking
motion.
at what happened. Is the pass forward or behind? That's behind him. Okay. Because you got guys blocking already. I didn't catch that at first. He throws it. Looks like he throws it backward. Because if you watch, is it Donovan Green? He ain't running a route right here. He went straight for the block. I'm just curious to see where he was when he caught the ball.
Okay. Well, they didn't catch it, so we'll go ahead and we'll call it.
Hey, we need a little bit of luck on offense sometimes.
We did in this game for sure.
He was definitely behind.
Okay. So see, they executed
the right way.
executed it properly. Let's see the next pass. This is the interception by DJ Pickett down at the 7 yard line, and this play I thought his technique was really, really good.
It's perfect. I mean, we always tell you, you're only considered a true freshman till midway through the season, and this is a perfect example why. He wasn't starting early on in the year. The later in the season, it got hard to take him off the field. But he plays that as perfect as any cornerback in the league.
Mateer probably like to have that one back.
Yeah. I mean, why throw it? He is so covered. His eyes are on the quarterback. He's got his hands on the receiver to feel him out. You don't throw that ball. And
I want to ask you a question as we watch this again, moving forward with DJ Pickett next year. I've heard quarterbacks say, and quarterbacks even here say, listen, there are certain receivers that I trust in a one-on-one situation. If they're even with them, I'm going to let my receiver go up and make a play. It's tough to do that on DJ Pickett, I would think.
He's 6'4".
He's 6'4". He's got very long arms. He's an exceptional athlete. And so if you're counting on a receiver that's covered to make a one-on-one with him, he better be Herman. He better be Herman Moore.
You typically hear that when they got a big 6'3", 6'2", 6'4" wide receiver playing against a 6-foot corner, guys that can go up and high point a ball. There's not many receivers out there that can get up and over the top of DJ Pickett.
Yeah, I mean, he better be Herman Moore. He better be Calvin Johnson. You like how I'm picking ex-Lions?
He's great.
Here,
great.
Those big, tall receivers. I got another one that we're going to show you here. Right after we tell you about Bayou Apparel. You're looking for anything LSU, go to everythinglsu.com. Run by locals and shipping from Baton Rouge. One of only a few local LSU licensees offering the highest quality products to showcase your brand, established or new. Their design experts can help you create eye-catching designs that move your company's message. They do logos, event T-shirts, and promotional items for your business. Call 928-9090, 225-928-9090. Or go to everythinglsu.com. And this might be one of the guys that can go up over him, and this is the play to Trey Green. Now, he had a drop earlier in his quarter, but this is a very nice catch.
Yeah, this is what we've been wanting to do, get the one-on-ones. And, I've been a little bit critical of Trey because sometimes I feel like he doesn't play as big as he is. But this is a perfect example of what you're talking about. Go up, use your body, shield him off, and get the ball. He might be the only guy that you can throw a one-on-one against DJ Pickett right now.
Watch him against DJ Pickett in the spring, maybe.
Yeah. But see, this is, they get him out wide. And this is a good throw by Michael Van Buren, too. I mean, give him credit. This is probably his best throw in the game. But, it makes it a lot easier when you got someone that big and tall. And
he's shielding the defensive back perfectly here. And this is the explode. Okay,
explode the star.
Explode to the star. We saw them run this in the first couple of weeks of the season. They had a touchdown near the goal line at Clemson on this. This is the first time I think I've seen them run in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
though.
And we talked about it. Look, so this is how it's run correctly. You get to 4 people on 4. This is where you get a little bit nervous. Is where number 3 plays on this.
And he is playing way outside the hash. So.
Yeah, that's what. Let it go a little bit. I want to see if he's getting back to the middle. Okay, so he's getting back to the middle.
Okay. Oh, he takes one step, and by that time he can't get back.
He can't get caught.
And that set up well, they got LSU a first down in Oklahoma territory. Of
Probably.
course, you know how the game
we get
ended.
a field goal or something? No?
Yeah, well, you know how the game ended. Oklahoma with a busted coverage that we didn't have access to that play, but it was a bust in the secondary. And look, LSU's defense played well for 95% of this game.
They gave you every opportunity to win a game. They've been doing it for the last few weeks. You can't go and say, well, they made one bad play. Well, they made 55 other great plays. So, it happens. It's something you wish you couldn't. But look, the bust to me is nothing when, the bust was when you get an interception on the 2-yard line and you don't get points.
So the good things about this game were Oklahoma had plenty to play for, a playoff berth, and LSU didn't. They realized this is the end of the regular season. They'll play in a bowl game somewhere, but you got great effort, and I thought the defense was really good. We said it before the game. Like, listen, if the offense doesn't make enough first downs, the defense is going to be out there a long time, and come late in the game, they could wear down. I didn't think they ever wore down. I thought the conditioning was fine. I thought that they just busted one coverage.
You had one mental mistake. Those guys played from the snap to the whistle. Felt like they gave it everything they could and put every opportunity for LSU to win the game.
And I feel like I read a book once when I was a kid. I can't remember the name of it. It was a fiction book about a football team that had to play their backup quarterback, and it was a championship game, and the quarterback got hurt in some freak accident or something, and they spent the whole week just working on every gadget that they could to make up for the fact that the starting quarterback wasn't going to be there. And of course, in the book, they win, right? But they spent the entire week working on gadget after gadget, surprise after surprise, just break every tendency, do whatever they could just to win this one game. And I feel like LSU in the back half of the season, the last 4 or 5 games this year, kind of did that. In the book, they couldn't line up and run their traditional offense because they didn't have the quarterback. Well, this was more than just not having the quarterback, because Van Buren can do some different things. It was, you don't have a traditional run game. You don't have your starting quarterback. You've had injuries. You've had a coaching turnover. It just felt like
You've changed tackles nonstop.
Yeah, you were running every. I hate to keep using the word gadget, but you were using everything that you could, because you couldn't just line up and run a traditional offense and have any success. And they caught them a few times. They caught a few plays, and some of them they did, and they won a couple of games with this. But I'm tired. I'm done with the sideways offense. That can go on the shelf and move forward. I don't suspect we'll see much of that with Lane Kiffin as a head coach.
You want to see a trick play in the first half against a rival to maybe just get one over on them, do something. I'm
you
good
see
with
something
that.
on film that you can really suck them up into something.
And you're going to exploit it. But when you go into a game and you run 7 of them, that means you don't have confidence in anything.
No. So they did what they had to do. Season ends at 7-5. Obviously, not what they were planning when the Clemson game was over. But a new coach, a new system, and a lot of changes coming to LSU over the next couple of weeks. Before we get to the Christmas break, we'll be showing you some of the things that Lane Kiffin has done offensively over the years and how that may translate to his time at LSU. So we hope that you can make it in your plans to join us for those episodes of the Hanny Cast. For Richard Dickson, I'm Charles Hannigrove. Have a great night.